Thank you all for joining today. This practice is going to focus on our lovely spine. So we'll do different poses and different movements to kind of strengthen the spine as well as increase our flexibility and mobility. So let's begin seated in the center of our mats. Cross whatever foot or ankle in front you would like to, whatever feels kind of organic and natural. And once the sit bones really find their place, close the eyes, let your hands rest simply on your knees or your thighs, and just begin to feel your spine from the inside out. Taking a moment to just kind of do a little inner scan from tailbone up through the crown of the head, maybe even going a little bit deeper with kind of X-ray vision, imagining the sacrum, that tailbone point, and then each vertebra as it stacks one above the other. And as you imagine this kind of building block of your spine, just begin to lengthen a little bit more. As if the crown of the head were kind of tugging the spine long from that rooted base right at the tailbone. Relaxing shoulders, letting them get soft, and see if you can kind of increase the space between the tops of your shoulders and your ears. Letting the jaw get soft as well. And then taking a few really mindful breaths here, breathing in deeply through the nose, letting your body expand. So as the breath drops down and fills the lungs, notice how the belly inflates, the lungs inflate, the rib cage gets wider from side to side and front to back. And as you exhale, maybe sit down into your sit bones a little bit more and get a little bit taller as you breathe out. Again, deep breath in through the nose, feeling yourself fill up. So there's this wonderful sense of expansion. And as you exhale, really concentrate on lengthening your spine as you sit down strongly through the sit bones and you lift up through the crown. A few more rounds just like this, establishing a deep breath in and a long breath out, lengthening the spine as you exhale. Notice how this also helps us to take a deeper breath in as we create more space in our torso. Lengthen on the exhale as you breathe out. Let's do one more deep breath in. Hold that breath at the top so you feel the energy, breath as energy, even in retention. And let's open the mouth and cleanse the body with a emptying all the way out. Good, we'll ease the eyes opened here. Bring your hands together and just interlace the fingers. We'll take a little wrist roll here, just moving the wrists around in a figure 8. Keeping that nice long spine. And then reverse direction, taking it around in the opposite way. Maybe a little popping sound, a little cracking. It's all good as we just release some stale energy. And then coming to stillness, you'll flip the palms and you'll press them all the way forward. Heels of the hands in line with the shoulders. Feel that nice spaciousness in your upper back, right? Creating some space as the scapula draw apart. And then as you breathe in, sit tall and lift the arms all the way overhead. Soften the inner shoulders and feel your waistline getting nice and long. Press up through the heels of the hands. Breathe in. As you breathe out, a little lean to the left as you stretch open that right side. Keep your right sit bone grounded and just stretch open, breathing into the ribs. Come up as you breathe in and off to the other side, breathe out. Pressing the palms away, keeping your arms as straight as possible, taking our spine in a lateral direction from side to side. Good, come up through center. And then as you exhale, take your palms to the back of your head. Elbows nice and wide here. Press the back of the head into the hand. Feel your cervical spine getting long, right? Beautiful sensation here. And as we breathe in, let's open the chest. So think of the front of the spine here as you lean back and widen the elbows. As you exhale, tuck chin to chest and wrap your elbows in and feel that nice stretch in the back of your neck. Good, moving between these poses as we inhale, we'll open up, really focusing our awareness into the cervical spine at the neck. Exhaling, sitting tall, draw chin to chest and wrap those elbows in and around your head. Good, one more, let's inhale, open wide. Feel the front of your spine getting a stretch here. And then exhale, round it in, stretching out the back of the neck. Good, and then breathe in, come up. Bring your arms up and overhead and separate the palms so that they face one another. Keep that rooted grounding sensation and a simple twist to the right. So right arm comes back behind you. You'll hook your left hand behind your knee. As you breathe in, take a deep breath up from the base of the spine through the crown of the head. And as you breathe out, just rotate as much as you can here. Feeling your belly turning, your ribs turning, your shoulder, maybe even your chin. Breathe in, find that length in your spine. Breathe out, find your twist. So now we're twisting the muscles around the spine, working to release any tension there. On your next breath in, turn your chin to look over your left shoulder. So again, stretching out the cervical spine here, feeling that beautiful sensation, twisting open. And then we'll release the right arm back behind us and lean out and over that left knee. You can take your gaze down towards the knee if that feels best, or maybe even open up the chest towards the ceiling as you roll that right shoulder back, maybe lift the chin. Continue to root down through the right sit bone and knee and thigh. Good, rise up and you're gonna crisscross that right arm over the left. So right hand to left knee, arms crisscrossed in front of you. Press your knees down, lengthen your spine, lift the chest. And as you exhale, press and fold forward. So you're lengthening out of your low back as you're pressing your inner thighs and knees towards the ground. If you can drop your head as low as possible, maybe even to the mat, but try not to lose the connection of sit bones to ground, right? You want to keep that rootedness and then just lengthen your low back out from that place. Breathing in, breathing out. Beautiful. Press into those inner thighs, rise back up, and float the arms up and overhead. Get nice and long, reach, reach, reach. On your exhale, twisting to the left now, planting the left fingertips back at the base of the spine, and then pressing the back of the right hand into your left knee. Breathe in as you lift up, get tall, and breathe out as you find any depth of twist here. So be kind to yourself. Don't feel like you have to take it to the deepest degree. Any amount to encourage the muscles to open up, to increase the lubrication, stretching everything out. And then turning the chin to look over the right shoulder. Notice how your neck feels here. Releasing the left arm up and overhead, breathe in. And as you exhale, you'll lean out and over towards that right knee. Gaze can be down, or maybe yogi's choice, turning to open towards the ceiling, rolling your left shoulder back, maybe even looking up at the ceiling here, staying grounded, twisting, bending, stretching. Beautiful. Rise up and crisscross left arm in front of right so that you reach for your right knee. Take a breath in as you lengthen. And as you breathe out, send your chest forward as you press into your inner thighs. Lengthen your spine on this side. Nice deep breaths here. Feeling maybe a little stretch in the outer hips. Nice and long out of that low back. Good, and then press into the inner thighs to rise up. We'll take our hands back behind us and then unwind the legs. Place them in front of you with the heels lined up with your sit bones. Turn your fingertips towards your sit bones and then wrap your shoulders onto your back. Engage your belly muscles, push into your hands and feet, and with a scoop of the tailbone, come up into reverse tabletop. Try to bring your bum in line with the back of your knees, and then wrap those shoulder blades onto your back. Stay here, lengthening the tailbone towards the back of the knees, stretching out the front of the body. Option to draw that right knee into your chest, and maybe extend the leg up to the sky. Try not to let the hips sink here, but instead press into that foot and lift the hips higher. Switch sides, lower right foot down. Press into it as the left knee comes to chest. Extend up. Keep the hips from collapsing or sinking down. Breathe in. And exhale to lower. Slowly bring your tailbone down to the ground and then swing your legs around to come into a tabletop position. So we'll want to just come into our classic cow cat. This is sort of the ultimate spinal release and movement sequence. So good for keeping the spine flexible. So bring your shoulders right over your wrists, spread your palms. If you'd like a little wrist stretch, go ahead and turn the fingertips towards your knees or out to the side. Either one of those will give you a little additional stretch there. And then as we breathe in, we'll soften the tailbone, or soften the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the crown of the head. And then on the exhale, with control, round the spine as you push into your hands and lift your navel in and up. Inhale, maybe close your eyes. Feel the spine extend here. Tailbone lifting, heart lifting. Exhale, feel the articulation as you tuck the tailbone under. Round through the spine, chin to chest. Notice if you can create a little more space here between the shoulder blades. One more round. Inhale, tailbone lifting, heart lifting. Exhale as you round into cat pose. Beautiful. Lift your navel in and up. Good. And then releasing that, turn the fingertips back towards the top of the mat if you had another position. And just slide your right toes back towards the back of the mat. Begin to engage the front and the back body. So lift your belly in and up and hug your outer hips in. From the inner thigh, you're going to lift that right leg up. So beginning a little spinal balance work here to strengthen the muscles of the back and the front body. Flex your toes down, wrap your outer hip down towards the mat. And when you're ready, press into the right hand to lift the left arm forward. Line it up with your ear as you press back through your right heel. Feel your body lengthening here. Try not to slump into that right shoulder, but keep lifting out of it. Breathe in and maybe lift the arm and the leg a little higher. Exhale, elbow to knee. Let's crunch it in as we round. Inhale to extend out, reach long. Exhale, pull it in, chin to chest. Last one, extend. And in, pull in nice and tight. Extend the leg, place the left hand to the mat, and then bend the knee. Stay here or maybe float the left hand back to reach for the foot. If you find your foot, you're going to press it into your hand as you roll that right shoulder back, or left shoulder back, excuse me. Lift your chest and your heart towards the top of the mat. Breathe and feel your spine here opening up. On an exhale, release. Maybe come off of your wrists if you need to. Give them a little wiggle or roll, or any other movement, maybe some hip circles to kind of cleanse your plate here. And we'll begin on the other side. So sliding those left toes back, engaging our core, feeling the belly lift up and in, and then with control, slowly lifting that left foot up and off the mat. Flexing the toes down, kind of roll the outer hip down towards the mat. Feel the front of the hips square to the floor. When you're ready, press into the left hand to release the right arm forward. Feeling long as we stretch out in opposite directions. Really good for the body, really good for the brain. Take a breath in, lift a little bit. Exhale, elbow to knee, pull in. Inhale to extend, push through the heel, reach out through the fingers. Exhale, curl in. Last time, lengthen. And draw it in. Good, extend the foot back. Bring the right hand to the mat, bend the knee. And if you'd like, reach the right hand back for the foot. Press the foot into the hand. Roll your shoulder back and lift your chest, look forward. Feel that nice stretch in the quad, opening across the front of the chest. Big breath in, and exhale to let that go. Beautiful. Tuck the toes under, plant the hands, and let's find downward facing dog. Take a little movement here as it suits your body. Anything that might feel good and natural to you. Stretching out the hamstrings, getting a little pedaling action going. Anything that would help you open up. So as we are here thinking about the spine and downward facing dog, imagine it lengthening. So as you press forward and down into the hands and you lift the tailbone up, the spine gets nice and long. Press your rib cage back towards your thighs. A bend in the knee can help if you're feeling tight. It can also lengthen the spine a little bit more. Breathing in as we root down. Breathing out as maybe the heels get a little closer to the mat and you find straighter legs. Keep your feet where they are. We're going to walk our hands back and let our heels drop all the way to the mat. It's a little shorter version of downward facing dog. You can separate the feet a little wider if that feels more comfortable. And then you're going to thread your right arm under for your left ankle, and we're going to take a twist. So you're going to turn up and underneath your left arm, twisting out those muscles along the length of the spine. Really grab onto the ankle and pull your right elbow to the right. Take this as deep as you can, really rotating up and underneath your arm. One more breath. And then exhale to release. Replace the left hand with the right, thread the left underneath, grab your right side, and then same thing here. Turn up and underneath your right arm, really pulling your left elbow to the left. Tuck your belly in and up, kind of scoop it out so that you can get a little bit deeper into your rotation. This should feel good. One more breath in, and then exhale to let that go. Walk the hands back out. Now bring your feet together, heels touching, toes turned out. Feel what this feels like with a different position of the legs. Really hug your inner thighs in together. So like little Charlie Chaplin feet here. Inhale, come up high on the toes. Exhale, bend your knees and kind of squat it back. Good. Inhale, come up high on the toes. Hug those inner thighs in. Exhale, squat it down as the knees widen. One more time, inhale as you squeeze thighs in, press into the toes, and then exhale, we're gonna bend and kind of hover over the mat here. And then lower the knees to the mat nice and wide and come into child's pose. So bring your tailbone back towards your heels and stretch your hands all the way forward. Breathe into your back side. Notice how you are feeling here. Notice how the breath is energy, and if we need it, we breathe with more intention. Notice how the breath can calm us down as well. Taking a pause and catching our breath if we need to. Child's pose is always a great place to come to if you need that pause. Let's get into a little shoulder work here. So come up onto hands and knees. And as we inhale, we're going to come forward. Lift your feet. So keep your feet connected. We're still in that wide knee position. Keep your feet connected. Inhale, bring your shoulders over your wrists. As you exhale, come halfway down. So chaturanga modified here. Inhale, press into the hands, lift up. And as you exhale, sink it back into your child's pose. Take a little pressure off the wrists and the shoulders. Let's take that a couple times. Inhale, come forward, lift the feet, stack the shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, halfway down, bringing your shoulders in line with your elbows. Inhale to press up, and exhale to take it back. Good, inhale forward, feet lift. Exhale, chaturanga modified. Inhale, press it up. And exhale, take it back. One more, let a little heat build. Come forward, feet lift. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, back and up. And exhale, rest and breathe. Notice how that energy starts to flow and build. Notice if a little heat hasn't started to build as well. Letting that heat burn off anything that we do not need. Good, making your way back and up onto all fours. We'll find downward facing dog once again. Stretch long here. Press into the hands. Ground your knuckles down. Root through the thumb and the forefinger. Keep pressing the heels towards the mat. Good, the right leg will lift now, reach it up and back. Let's bend the knee and open up the hip generously. Feel like you're taking a nice wide yawn of the body. An invitation to stay here or maybe flip your dog, bringing all 10 toes to face the back of the mat. Push into your hand and your feet and lift that right arm up and overhead, stretching out the front body, grounding through that left palm, breathe in. On the exhale, take it back to three-legged dog if you can, that right leg up. Wherever you are, breathe a nice breath in to lengthen. Exhale, come forward, knee to nose. We're going to round the back here as we push into the hands. Inhale to stretch it all the way back. And then exhale to step it up, right foot by the right thumb. Keeping that back knee lifted, so you're on the toes of the back foot, pressing that heel away. You want to stack the right knee over the right ankle. And we're just going to spend a breath or two here, letting our hips get adjusted to this pose. So feel the big stretch in the front of your left hip. Feel that contraction in the right. Stretching your heart forward as you press back through that left heel. Lengthening, lengthening. Good, we'll root the left palm down underneath the left shoulder. And on your next breath in, twist from your belly as you open your right arm up. So you're gonna feel this rotation, not only in your spine, in your chest, belly, really wrapping that right shoulder back and tucking your left ribs underneath you. Getting into the thoracic spine here, kind of mid-back, should feel really good. Breathe in. Now follow me as you breathe out. We're going to straighten the legs and we're going to thread that right arm underneath us over to the left, taking a little twist and turn to the left. Feel this in your right hamstring as you pull your right hip crease back. And then flowing between those two, inhale, come forward, twisting lunge, open to the right. Exhale, straighten the leg and thread through to the left. Good, again, inhale, bend the knee, open and twist. Exhale, straighten and thread it through. Last one, open and twist. And straighten and thread it through. Breathe here. You can keep the thread because that actually helps with the twist. Or if it's too much, you can drop that right hand down to frame out the right foot. Just breathing into the hamstring. Maybe pull those right toes back. Big, big stretch here. Lean into your breath. Good, and then bend into your front knee. Frame out the foot if you haven't already. Send the right foot back to meet the left, plank pose. Push into the hands as you press the earth away from you. Let everything kind of zipper up here. Belly in, outer hips in, thighs in, engaged. From the crown of the head out through the heels. Slight tuck of the tailbone and a nice rounding between the shoulder blades. As you breathe in, we're going to rock forward on the toes. As we breathe out, all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes, wrap your elbows in nice and close. Press the thighs and the hips to the mat and inhale, find your cobra. Shoulders slide down the back, heart lifts. These back bends help to strengthen the muscles in our back. Anchor down through the lower body, lift through the upper. And then on an exhale, take it down. Good, as you're ready, come up through hands and knees, or maybe right up through plank. And then back to downward facing dog. Big breath in here. Let it go with a nice Maybe shake out your head a little bit. Releasing. Taking a breath or two to reconnect. Good, and then with a beginner's mind rather than anticipation, let's start the left side here. So left leg is gonna lift up. We'll bend the knee and open up the hip, nice and generously. Really yawn that left side open. Staying here or flipping into your dog. So bringing that left foot down, all 10 toes to the back of the mat. Root down through the right hand as the left arm stretches up and overhead. Keep your thighs engaged as you press into your feet. Hips lift. Open up your front body, breathe in. On an exhale, maybe back to three-legged dog. Give it a try. Left leg up to the sky. Breathe in wherever you are. Breathe out. Good, on the next breath in, knee to nose. Draw it in as you come forward. Exhale as you take it back, extend. One more time, inhale, pull in knee to nose, stack shoulders over wrists. Exhale as you step your foot up towards your left thumb. Grounding down through that back, right foot, pressing the heels away from you. Maybe coming up onto blocks or fingertips to lengthen the spine and to let your chest lift a little higher. Heart lifting, stretching open your right hip. Breathe into it. Let this side get used to the sensations. Good. Keep pulling your left hip crease back. And then we'll root that right palm down. As you breathe in, turn from the belly, opening to the left. So the left arm will rise up. Your shoulders will stack. That left hip is pulling back. The knee remains stacked over the ankle. Feel this twist right through the center of your back. Take a nice breath in. And then as we exhale, straighten that left leg, thread the left arm through and under over to the right side. So the same little dance on this side. Inhale, rebend the knee, come into your twist as you turn open to the left, rotating. Exhale as we thread and straighten that left leg. Pull back from the left hip crease. Again, inhale, twisting open to the left. Press back through your right heel. Exhale as you thread through and twist. One more round. Inhale, turning open. And exhale, threading through. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. You can keep the threading or just place the left hand outside of the left foot. Maybe curl the left toes back towards you, getting a little bit deeper into this left hamstring. Relax your head and neck. Let your spine get long over the front of your thigh. Nice deep breaths. Good, 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 good. All right, rebend into that front knee. Frame the foot out if you haven't already. Step back, find your plank pose. So here we go. Re-engage the body. You can drop to your knees if you need to. Keep that belly lifted. Let's rock forward on the toes as we breathe in. Exhale all the way down, untucking the toes. So locust variation on this side. We're going to go ahead and stack our palms in front of us. So you're going to bring our forearms forward. And then you're going to ground your feet. You're going to place your forehead onto the back of your hands. Now take a breath in, stretch through your right toes, and just lift the right leg off the mat. So feel that lengthening from your bum and your low back all the way out through your right toes. Keep that length as you exhale and lay that foot down. Notice how it feels compared to the left side. Let's even ourselves out. Man, I feel that. All right. From the left hip, point the left toes and then stretch the toes all the way to the back of the mat as you lift it up. Keep lengthening, feeling that energy grow out through the toes. Keep that lengthening sensation as you exhale and send the foot down. Wow, notice the difference here. All right, we're going to ground the tops of the feet. And on the next breath in, really engage your back muscles so that you can lift your arms up, forehead rounded towards the back of the hands, elbows wide. Breathe in. And on the exhale, come down. Take a deep breath. Let it go with a ha. And just notice all the strengthening that you're doing here. Notice how it sends your heart rate up a little bit. Yeah, we're working here. All right, we're going to bring all those components together. So on the next breath in, you're going to lift your upper body and your legs at the same time, rounding through your belly and your pelvis, reaching out through the toes, engaging those upper back muscles. Breathe in, lift, and then exhale. Woo! Let it go. Bring one ear to the mat. Bring your arms down alongside of you and just let your hips move from side to side. Little wiggle. Put a smile on your face if it's not already there. And then switch sides, opposite ear to the mat. Keep a little wiggle going. Maybe windshield wiper your legs this time, bending at the knees. Good stuff. And then lower the feet down, take your chin forward, make your way back to downward facing dog. And feel how long your spine feels now, right? That much longer and that much stronger. All right, let's bring our thumbs to touch in the center of our mat. So hands come to meet. Bend your knees, look forward, and step one foot to the outside of the hand and then the other. Coming into our malasana here, I'm going to turn to face you. So elbows are going to find those inner knees. You're going to sit low. Toes are turned out. Palms meet together in the front of your chest, right at that heart space. Decompressing the spine here, letting the tailbone grow towards the ground. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Closing the eyes as you deepen your breath. Notice if you can't feel that sensation of decompression, right? The support of the legs doing the work here, letting the spine just release. Soften your tailbone down. Actively press your palms together so that those elbows are working. Sending the knees a little bit wider. Try to relax around the pose so that you find that sweet balance of effort and ease. Steady your breath. Beautiful. Good. Now keeping the palms together, lift your arms overhead. This will intensify the pose a little bit. Bringing your arms alongside your ears as much as you can. And then really with a nice strong push into the feet, rise all the way up, squeezing those inner thighs together as you come up. Breathe in as you get tall. And as you breathe out, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bring the feet underneath you, toes facing forward. You can even bring the big toes to touch if you would like. Let's relax the shoulders down, close the eyes, take a pause. Center yourself here. While you're here, take another little internal glance of your spine. Notice all the parts connected to it, shoulder bones, head, hips, legs, right? And think about how all of the muscles are attached in some way, connected to the very center of our being, that workhorse, our frame. Such a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, let's let the eyes open here. And as you breathe in, bring the arms up and overhead and take a little back bend here. So just gently invite the fingertips back as you press the hips forward. And as you exhale, come into chair pose. So sit back and down, bring your hands towards your heart. Allow the weight to kind of transfer to the heels of the feet here. And then inhale, press into the feet, same thing, little back bend as you reach the fingertips back behind you, opening up the front line. Exhale, bending the knees, squatting down, Utkatasana, chair pose. Little mini tuck of the tailbone here. Inhale, press into the feet, straighten the legs, lift up and back, find your back bend. Exhale, Utkatasana, sitting nice and low. Good. We'll stay here, really focusing on this pose, lifting the toes, looking down, making sure your knees are in line with one another. And then let's twist to the right. So see if you can hook your left elbow outside of your right knee, pressing your palms together and really rotating the chest around. So again, a good time to kind of hollow out your belly, lifting it in and up. You could also make a fist with your left hand and wrap your right hand on top of it. This may help you kind of rotate a little bit deeper. Think about stacking your elbows if you can. Option to fan open if you'd like. Lifting that right arm up, lengthening the left hand down. Think of your spine getting a good twist and rotation here. Good. Now come back to center, hands back and heart. Press into your right foot, lift your left, and step it all the way back. Round the toes and lift your chest. And then as you're ready, we'll open to warrior two. So you're going to find the long side of your mat with the right knee bent, right toes forward. The left foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. Bend into your front knee so that it eventually lines up over your front ankle. Notice where the knee is tracking. Make sure that it's not rolling in or too far out. but you want it to track right over your middle toes. Now think of your spine here as vertical, with your shoulders right over your hips. Activate your fingertips. Get really strong as you root through your feet. Good. Now inhale, straighten the leg and float your arms overhead. Nice little warrior two dance here. Exhale, come back into your warrior two. Inhale to rise up, straightening the front leg, arms overhead. Exhale, sink in. One more round. Inhale to lift. And exhale to bend into the front knee. Last time as we lift, stay here, and then open the arms wide to a T. Lean forward. So here we're extending the spine nice and long out and over our front hip. The pelvis kind of kicks back, that right hip tucks back, and reach out, and then eventually find your Trikonasana pose by bringing right hand down to the shin. You had a block, you could, if you can, come to the floor. And then we're gonna lean the chest back so that imagine you feel a wall behind you and your left shoulder is anchored against that wall, pressing deeply into your feet, finding that triangular stable base. Spine is long, keep lengthening through the crown of the head. Wrap your right sit bone underneath you. Nice deep breath in. On the exhale, bend into your front knee as you take that left hand back behind you, and then swing it forward and around and up and over your head for extended side angle. So try to put as little weight as possible onto that front thigh. Really work your core here, and then feel the extension from your left heel out through your left fingertips. Nice deep breaths. Maybe take a half shoulder bind as you wrap that left hand back behind you, finding the sacrum or the hip crease. That feels yummy. Full bind if you want. Bringing right hand underneath to find the left, and then rolling the chest open. Only options here. Play with it, go where you want. Good, and then we'll release. Frame out your foot with your hand, spin onto the ball of the back foot. Come back into that twist. So right arm up, reaching high, turning the chest to the right. Option to stay here or come into either Vashisthasana, side plank pose, or maybe wild thing, dropping the toes back behind you with a bent knee, lifting your chest, and reaching your right arm towards the top of your mat. Press your hips up to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good, and inhale takes you back to plank pose, and then exhale takes you through a vinyasa or to downward facing dog. Inhaling into a back bend as you lift your heart, feel that lengthening. And then exhaling, we all meet in downward facing dog. Taking a deep and full breath in. Let it go with a ha. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely am feeling the heat. Let's keep it stoked. So look forward, bend your knees, and take a little hop or a walk to the top of the mat. Halfway lift here, extending the spine to straight. On the exhale, you'll fold and release down. Inhale, now you'll rise. Come all the way up, let your palms meet, and then exhale, hands to your heart center. Taking that sequence now onto the other side, we'll begin an Utkatasana chair pose. So sit your hips back and down. Let your toes lift as your heels ground. Tuck the tailbone under, check the placement of the knees. Make sure you can see all 10 toes as well. And then hug your belly in, scoop it in and up, and let's find that twist to the left. Right elbow to the outside of your left thigh and knee, palms pressing together, torso turning as much as it can. Keep your thumbs drawing towards your heart and your heart lifting towards your thumbs. Staying here, maybe opening up, fanning the arms, breathing deeply, feeling that fire, right? Tapas, burning something up here. It's so healthy, so good for us. Good, and for my northern friends, you may need that heat. All right, hands come back together. Come back, look forward, press into your left foot, lift the right, send the toes all the way back, steady yourself as you lift up. And then when you're ready, turn to the long side of your mat and set up for warrior two. So the other side now, left knee forward, right foot anchoring you down. The more you press into it, the more depth you can get in that front knee. You want to make sure that the knee and the ankle are tracking over one another. Stretch out through your fingertips, elongate your spine. Let your heart lift, and let your tailbone draw down. Breathe into this side. Notice what you feel. Maybe you're a little tighter, maybe more open. It's all good. And then taking our little dance. As we inhale, we'll straighten the front leg and just let the arms float overhead. Exhale, ground down as you come back to warrior two. So notice the sensation in the legs and the upper body. Inhale, legs are strong and rooting you down. Exhale, upper body is nice and light. One more inhale as we lift. Pull that left hip crease back. And then exhale as we descend. Last one, inhale, lift up. Leg remains straight as we exhale, bring the arms to a T. Now take your time to really extend out and over your front thigh. Kick that left hip back, reach the spine long, and then bring the left hand down, bring the right arm up. Roll the shoulder back, lean back as much as it feels comfortable to you. You can look up, forward, or down, whatever feels most stable. Keep drawing your left sit bone underneath you and back. Keep leaning back to open up. Keep lengthening from the tailbone out through the crown of the head. Breathing into Trikonasana, such a beautiful pose. Big breath in. As you exhale, bend into your front knee and release your right arm back behind you. Elbow to thigh here. Sweep that right arm all the way forward, up and around so that it frames out your right ear. Finding extended side angle on this side, we continue to open the chest. Root strongly through your back foot. Feel that angle you're creating along the right side of the body. Maybe take a half bind on this side. Fingertips reaching for the hip crease or the sacrum. Really roll your right shoulder back. Maybe full bind if it's available. Don't push it, but explore if it's something you want to try. Breathing. Centering and grounding. Breath as energy. Good, let's release. Frame out the foot, spin onto the ball of the back foot. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, find your plank pose. Oh no, sorry, twisting. Come back, left foot in line with left knee, stacking, twisting open to the left. I was gonna cut you short here. Staying here or finding Vashisthasana if you want, side plank pose, or maybe even wild thing, stepping the left toes back, bend at the knee, you're on the left toes, the right leg is long, the left arm reaches towards the top of your mat. Big breath in, press the hips towards the sky, and then exhale, back to plank pose. Bring the knees wide, lower them to the mat, Let's take child's pose. Let it all go. Maybe this time, bring your hands alongside of you. Turn the palms up to the sky. Give your shoulders a nice break and breathe into your back body. Notice the energy you've created. Let it settle. Notice the heat. Be grateful for the results that it brings. Awesome. Good. Slowly roll yourself up. If your hands are not yet behind you, bring them behind you, and then come onto your fingered pads. We'll go ahead and wrap the shoulders back, press into the shins, and then press the hips forward, taking a back bend here. Maybe drop the head back, scoop the tailbone under, and lift and lengthen. Big release along the front of the body. Good. Squeeze those blades together, and then slowly bring yourself down. Nice work. All right. From here, we'll come into pigeon pose. So we'll come from a tabletop position. Bring your right knee to the outside of your right wrist and walk your left toes all the way back behind you. Slide that right shin as close to the top of the mat as you can without creating any tension in the right knee or hip. I like to look back behind at my left foot, making sure my heel is lined up with my sit bone and making sure that my foot isn't sickling. Find some length in your spine here. So one more opportunity to lengthen. And as you're ready, come on down to forearms, to a block, to a pillow, anything that may support you here in this beautiful hip opener. Feel that external rotation in your right hip and feel the front of your left hip really opening up as you kind of press the front of it down towards the mat. Stretching open on one side, rotating on the other. Big deep breaths. Really enjoying this sensation. Connecting to breath to allow us to go deeper, to allow us to get past any discomfort we may be feeling or any fidgeting, any of the monkey mind busyness that may want to take over here. Try to settle in and find some quiet, connecting with you and your body. The best vehicle for that connection is our breath. Being witness to it, utilizing it, leaning into it. Good. One more breath in. And then exhaling slowly, come up, pressing the hands into the mat, lift the chest, and simply come back to a tabletop position. You may want to press your hips back. You may want to move them around a little bit just to kind of release on that side. And then we'll take this on the other side. So left knee will slide up towards the outside of your left wrist. And then you're going to guide the shin towards the top of the mat as much as feels comfortable on this side. Maybe peek over the right shoulder, lining up your heel, making sure your foot's not sickling too deeply or at all. Lifting into the finger or pressing into the finger pads to lift, and then coming down on this side, giving yourself a few moments here to really get into your left hip. So try to keep your pelvis level here. You don't want the left hip to be lower or higher than the right and vice versa. If that is happening, you can always bring a blanket underneath the left side to prop you up. Bring your awareness into that feeling of rotation on the left side. and the feeling of the stretch in the psoas muscle on the right. Deep breaths here to help you soften into it. Maybe noticing how this side feels compared to the right. No judgment. Nothing to judge here. Simply acceptance, awareness, and observation. You know, and make it kind of a fun project. How's my body feeling today? What's my mind up to? Noticing the patterns that your mind takes when you're in a deeper pose, right? We all have them. It's just really helpful to know who we are and how our bodies operate. Time on the mat really, really helps us go into that exploration and to know, to discover. Take another deep breath in here. As you exhale, begin to come out of the pose, lifting yourself up. Woo, good stuff. This time we're going to swing that right leg around. Stretch the legs out in front of you. Give them a good shake. And then lower yourself down and onto your backs. Let's take a full body stretch. Reach through the toes as you bring the arms all the way overhead. And we'll take our last, well, maybe not the last pose, but close to the last pose in plow. So I'll invite you to just lift your legs up, and then with a little kind of lift of the hips off the mat, take your hands to your low back and guide your toes back behind you. Any amount. If this is not going to work for you, you can simply just come into a waterfall pose, bringing your legs up, stacking your ankles over your hips, and just allowing your back to kind of decompress there. But if you go into the plow pose, you'll feel a deeper sensation, maybe finding the floor with your toes, keeping your chin tucked in towards your chest, and really being aware of what's happening in your back in this pose. Try to bring in that sense of X-ray vision again and really drop into your skeletal body right now. And can you breathe into it? Creating more space between the vertebrae, letting something soften here. Enjoy the sensations. Maybe this is something your body's really been craving and you haven't done it in a long time. Be just as aware as possible. I'm grateful for what your body can do. Good. We'll slowly come out of the pose by anchoring the hands down, palms turned down alongside of us. And you'll use your engaged core and your zippered up legs to roll through your spine, releasing the bones down. Think of this as a beautiful kind of massage for your spinal column, just letting the bones touch down nice and slow, finding that tailbone, using it as an anchor. And with the feet flexed, push through your heels as you slowly lower your legs all the way down. Nice and controlled. Yay. Hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a good squeeze. And let's have a little rock from side to side. Massage out that low back. It's gotten a lot of awareness and love and attention tonight. And then bringing your knees to tabletop, we'll bring the arms out either to cactus or a T shape. And just drop the knees off to the right. So if you bring them a little bit higher up towards your chest, that's going to give you one sensation. If you bring them more down and align with your hips, another sensation. You may want to kind of play with the two to see what feels best for your back. And then turn your chin, if you can, to the left. Maybe lay your right hand on top of your stacked knees. And breathe into this final spinal twist. Thinking of this as a way to kind of unwind from the practice as we slow it way down. A last good massage and lubrication for all the muscles around the spine. Relaxing that left shoulder to the floor. Feeling the sense of the twist and the wringing out. Good. We'll bring the chin back to center first. Release your hand, and then using your core muscles, bring your legs back to center. Pause as you neutralize the low back. And then bringing the knees off to the left, either up closer to the shoulder or more in line with the hips. So yogi's choice here, turning your gaze to the right, cactusing the arm or out straight, whatever feels good. And then trying to anchor down that right shoulder. So if you're tight like me, the shoulder may not make the mat, but that's okay, right? Intention means a lot here. So intend it to get there. Allow your back to soften into the twist. Let your breath flow up and down the spine. Feeling how everything is just kind of flowing now. All the channels are open. The breath moves with ease. The body is warm. Everything has gotten really nice awakening. Good. Turn the chest or the chin, towards the ceiling, and then unwind yourself back to center. Give the knees one more good hug and maybe pull your forehead up to meet your knees as you round into a nice egg shape here. And as you're ready on an exhale, let's go ahead and extend open, almost like a star shape on your mat, coming into Shavasana. Immediately give yourself permission to relax. So just let your entire body get heavy. Let your breath just breathe organically and naturally without any control. See if you can just separate your lips enough so that your jaw goes slack. You're not holding on to any tension anywhere along the length of the body, from the head all the way down towards the feet. Make any adjustments you need to so that you feel completely grounded. And with the eyes closed, let each exhale you take bring you a little bit deeper into your rest. Shavasana. Such a beautiful and important pose. The pose of reception, of integration, and deep relaxation, where all the benefits of our practice come together in a healthful and mindful way in the body on so many levels. Give yourself permission to just rest and receive. Allow sounds to drift in and out. Allow little movement if that's what you need. But really try to find stillness and acceptance wherever you are. Let your body stay still. Let your senses start to reawaken. Just slowly invite them in, one at a time, from sound to temperature, to the feeling of your skin and your body against the floor and your mat, to little bits of movement as you start to re-energize, reawaken from toes and fingers, head. And let's take one more nice deep breath in. Maybe lift those arms overhead. Stretch yourself nice and long with special attention to your spine. And then bring the knees into the chest. Pull the thigh bones in towards you. Give yourself a nice hug. And we'll come to sit, either rolling off on one side, pausing through a little fetal position, or maybe just rocking right up to your seat, whatever feels right for you tonight. Coming back to your seated pose, ending where we began, sitting tall with a new appreciation for our spine. And let's bring the palms together in front of the heart as we close our eyes, closing our practice together, feeling gratitude for this community, for the practice, for the health of our bodies, right? And for the brightness that it brings us from the inside out, like we've just turned on our own sunshine. So carry that beautiful light with you. We'll bring the thumbs to the third eye center and bow towards one another in honor and acknowledgement of that light. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the practice. I hope you'll stand a little bit taller after all that beautiful work on your spine. And I look forward to seeing you again. Namaste, yogis.